in the right side.
Oh, that's small icon.
Huh.
I'm already
Yeah, I
about
could
this.
see some of
The
them
meeting,
have been.
streaming has started.
Okay.
Right, Hare Krishna, all the best.
Hey Krishna.
Wait a second. Wait a second. Yes. You can start the video, Mataji.
Jai Radha Madhava Kunya Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunya Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tiro Vanachari Yamuna Tiro Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunya Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunya Bihari Jai Paraman Samparibrajagacharya Stakare Smavati Tanta Saraswati Goswami Bhagavad Jai Kanta Kori Vaishnavati Jai Ramacharya Sri Haridas Thakur Jai Nain Sata Hosi Krishna Tana Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivacharya Gaur Bhakti Jai Sri Radha Krishna Bhogavna Sam Kanda Radha Kanda Giri Jai Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Navadvip Dham Ki Jai Ganga Mai Ki Jai Jamuna Mai Ki Jai Guru Dwarka Dham Ki Jai Swami the Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai All glories to the All glories to the Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna, everybody. We'll be
Radhe
starting the
Radhe.
session in some time.
Radhe Radhe.
Hare Krishna. So during the session, we request all the devotees to kindly keep themselves muted unless we ask you to unmute and recite the shlokas or if you have to ask question at the end. But till then, kindly keep yourself muted so that there won't be any disturbance. Also, if possible, it's good if you can put your video on if you are in a convenient place. Otherwise, it's okay to keep your video off. Hare Krishna. So we will start this session with the prayer first. You all have got the Bhagavad Gita book with you, right? So in the Bhagavad Gita book, kindly open the introduction page, that is page number 1. Is my voice audible?
Yes, madam.
Okay. So if you have got your Bhagavad Gita book with you, we can start with the prayers. So let's join our hand and kindly repeat after me. Now you can unmute yourself. Om Ajnanatimhirantasya
ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य
Jnananjalashalakaya
ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया
Chakshuru Unmilitam Yena
चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन
Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha
तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः
Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam
श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं
Tapitam Yena Bhutale
स्थापितं येन भूतले
Svayam Rupa Kada Mayam
स्वयं रूपः कदा
Dadati Swapadantikam
ददाति
ददाति
स्वपदान्तिकम्
स्वपदान्तिकम्
He Krishna Karuna Sindhu
हे
हे
कृष्ण
कृष्ण
करुणा
Dinabandhu Jagatpate
दीनबन्धो जगत्पते
Gopesha Gopika Kanta
गोपेश गोपिकान्ता
Radha Kanta Namostute
राधाकान्ता नमोस्तुते
Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi
सप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी
Radhe Vrindavaneshwari
राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी
Vrishabhanu Sute Devi
वृषभानुसुते देवी
Pranamami Haripriye
प्रणमामि
Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha
वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च
Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha
कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च
Patitanam Pavanebhyo
पतितानां पावनेभ्यो
Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha
वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः
Shri Krishna Chaitanya
श्रीकृष्णचैतन्य
Prabhu Nityananda
प्रभु नित्यानन्द
Shri Advaita Gadadhara
Sri Advaita Gadadhara
Srivasadi Bhakta Gaura Vrinda.
Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Now let's all say together. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna Hare Hare.
Hare Rama,
Krishna
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Rama Rama,
Hare
Hare Hare.
Hare
Rama,
Rama, Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna.
So,
Hare
I
Hare.
pray to to Radharani, Shri Krishna,
Radha
and our gurus. We will start this session to
Jai
introduce
Shri Krishna.
Jai Krishna. Now I request everybody to mute yourself during the session, and we'll be asking you to unmute when we are reciting the shlokas. So to introduce, I'm Dr. Shrima Bikatil. I am a dentist, a practicing dentist, also a lecturer in a dental college. Have been practicing Bhagavad Gita for quite some time now. So it has helped me in my professional practice and also in the personal life. And that is how, with the Guru's grace, trying to give it to everybody over here. So that is a short, brief introduction of me. So let's start the second chapter. We welcome everybody for the second session of Bhagavad Gita course. Let's pray our humble obeisances to Sri Krishna Balaram. And let's pray to our Guru, that is Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, for his grace in understanding Bhagavad Gita. So before going to the second chapter, first, yesterday, we saw what happened in the first chapter. That is, if you have to compare it to a movie, we got a trailer yesterday. That is, who is there in the movie, who is there, what happened, what is the sequence, all that we saw yesterday in the first chapter. Correct? So for easier understanding, we have divided the second chapter, since it is a big chapter, it is called as Content of Gita Summarized, into two parts. So today we'll be talking about the first half, that is from 1 to 37 shlokas. And in the next session, we'll be continuing it. Okay. So yesterday we saw what happened. What happened is that we all saw what type of army was it, how many people were there, and who were the people. We know that why the fight was, why everybody had gathered in Kurukshetra. We also observed that Kurukshetra is called as Dharmakshetre Kurukshetre. That means it is the Dharmakshetra. No other war field is called as Dharmakshetra. Only this is called as Dharmakshetra because the Lord himself, Bhagavan himself, is present over here in this Dharmakshetra. That is why we called it as Dharmakshetra. Krishna got the chariot with Arjuna to the middle of the battlefield to observe what is happening in the battlefield. Arjuna, he saw his relatives. He felt compassionate. He put his bow down and then he said, I'm not able to fight because it's all my relatives. It's all, and there are so many adversities that happen if I fight. He gave the reasons for not fighting. We had listed down the reasons in the previous class, which included he had compassion for his relatives and friends. He felt no enjoyment after fighting. He was bothered about the sinful reactions, what is going to happen if he fights. And it is his dharma, being a Kshatriya, to protect the society. Rather, here he is going towards destroying the society. These are the dilemmas and questions he had in his mind. He said there will be destruction of the family tradition. So there was indecision. So we saw all these yesterday. So now to go into deeper, here Arjuna is representing us. This is what we face: dualities, dilemmas, miseries, all that a common man faces. We all face it. Arjuna is actually not like us. He is a very enlightened soul. But here he is representing us. Why is he doing it? So that we get the knowledge from the Lord. Bhagavad Gita was given by the Lord many, many years ago, even before it was told in the Kshetra, Dharma Kshetra. It was given many years ago, but somewhere it was coming down. The awareness of the God was coming down. So for us to know about the Lord, to know about this very sacred script, which has answer for everything, Arjuna played the role of the normal people, like common man. He took up that role so that he gets the jnana from the Lord himself. So Bhagavad Gita is considered as the summary of all Vedic knowledge. Okay. Okay, he became instrumental in getting this Vedic knowledge to us. We all face this. We all have miseries. We all have challenges that we are facing every day. We are in kind of mental turmoil that we are going through every day. And we put our own logic explanation to it. This thing happened to us because of that. That thing happened to us because of this. We create our own story, which becomes an illusion. Through this Bhagavad Gita, Krishna himself, the Lord himself, is trying to break this illusion and take us towards the knowledge, because only knowledge can solve the problems. Spiritual knowledge can solve the material problems. If you give a material solution, like no problem, I'm there for this, I will do this for you, this for this problem, it can be for only that problem. But whereas when we are getting a spiritual solution, we can implement it for any other problems, for everything that we face. So we are getting spiritual knowledge through the Lord. So through this, with the spiritual understanding, we can go towards permanent happiness, not just the temporary happiness. So let's dedicate this session to the Bhaktivedanta Swami Sri Srila Prabhupada. Let's bow down to our master for helping us understand this divine knowledge. So let's go on to the chapter 2, which gives a summary. The gist of the chapter is going to be, this chapter instructs us in self-realization by an analytical study of material body and spirit soul, as explained by the Supreme Authority, that is the Lord Krishna. This realization is made possible by working towards attachment and leaving being situated in the fixed conception of real self. What is it? We will be seeing in the in this class. So the chapter is basically divided into 2 parts, as I already said. Now, the first part has these contents. The handout of this will be given to you. So let's start with the first shloka. Everybody can open the first shloka of the second chapter. And you can unmute yourself so that we can repeat this shloka. Before repeating shloka, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate
Sanjaya Uvacha.
Sanjaya
Vasudevaya.
Tam tata kripaya vishtam.
Tam
Tata
Kripaya
Vishna.
Tam tata kripaya vishtam.
Tam
Kripaya
Vishna.
Ashrupurna kulekshanam.
Ashrupurna
Kulekshanam.
Ashrupurna kulekshanam.
Ashrupurna
Kulekshanam.
Tam tata kripaya vishtam.
Tam
Ashrupurna kulekshanam.
Tata Kripaya Ashrupurna Kulekshanam.
Vishidantam idam vakyam.
Vakyam
Vishidantam idam vakyam.
Vishidantam idam vakyam.
Uvacha Madhusudana.
उवाच
Uvacha Madhusudana Vishidantam idam vakyam
विषिदन्तं इदं वाक्यम्
Uvacha Madhusudana
उवाच मधुसूदन
Tam tata kripayavishtam Ashruपूर्णाकुलेक्षणम्
तं तथा कृपयाविष्टामश्रुपूर्णाकुलेक्षणम्
Vishidantam idam vakyam Uvacha Madhusudana
विषिदन्तम् इदं वाक्यम् उवाच मधुसूदन
Okay. So the first shloka, Sanjaya said that he says this to Dhritarashtra. Tam tata kripaya vishtvam. Arjuna here is overwhelmed with compassion. He said all the things in the first chapter, right? He is overwhelmed with compassion, and his eyes are teary. His eyes are filled with tears. Okay, and he is lamenting. He is lamenting over there. For this, Madhusudana says the next verses. So this describes the quality of Arjuna. What has happened? What we have to focus on in this is that here Krishna is called as Madhusudana. That means killer of the enemy. It is said that here we are looking towards something. As Krishna killed Madhusudana, the killer of the demon Madhu, right? In the same way, please Krishna come and kill all our miseries or all our dilemmas, all our confusion. That is why here he is referred to as Madhusudana. So the next shloka starts with Sri Bhagavanu Vacha. It says that Sri Bhagavanu Vacha. Who is the Bhagavan? The Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna himself. Why do we call him Bhagavan? Bhaga in Sanskrit means all. So he is the one who possesses all riches, all strength, all fame, all beauty, all knowledge, and renunciation. He is Shad Aishwarya Purita. He has all the 6 qualities. When we see somebody who is very rich or who is very beautiful, naturally our eyes go towards them and we start talking about them. We get attracted towards them. If we are feeling this for a person with one quality, or maximum he might have riches or strength, he might have riches, beauty, he might have knowledge, strength, combination of this. So towards them only we get attracted. But here Krishna is having all the 6 properties. How attractive he would be. That is why he is called as Krishna. That is, Krishna itself means all attractive. He is so compassionate. He's so compassionate towards his friends. He has all the wealth which is present in the universe. He has got the highest fame. That is, he is known to everybody. He has the greatest knowledge within him. Knowledge comes from him. He has greatest strength. Nobody is there who has lifted up a hill on the little finger, but Krishna has done it, which shows that he has so much strength in him. And he is all beautiful. That is why he is the most attractive one. Okay, so that is why here we refer to as Krishna as Bhagavan. Okay, so next shloka we all will repeat. Shri Bhagavanu Vacha.
श्री भगवानुवाच
Kutastva Kashmalamidam Samupastitam
विषमे समुपस्थितम्
Anarya Jushtvam Asvargyam
अनार्यजिष्टवस्वज्ञम्
Akirti Karamarjuna.
अकीर्तिकरमर्जुन
When Krishna heard whatever Arjuna said, he says, Kutastva Kashmalamidam. That is, where did you get all these impurities from? Here, Krishna is telling it to Arjuna, where did you get it from? All these impurities, so many doubts and questions, right? How did you get it from? Where did you get it from? This does not suit a civilized man. You are acting like Anarya. Arya means a civilized man. You are acting like Anarya, right? Uncivilized man, right? Okay. It is not going to take you to higher planets. This is not going to take you to higher planets. And it is going to give you akirti, that is infamy. Why are you getting all these doubts in your head? So he says, you can see the translation of text 2. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, my dear Arjuna, how have these impurities come upon you? There are not all the befitting a man who knows the value of life. They lead not to higher planets, but to infamy. We'll see the next verse translation. O son of Partha, do not yield to this degrading impotence. It does not become you. Give up such petty weakness of heart and arise, O chastiser of enemies. He says, he stresses on Kshudram Hridaya Daurbalyam. These characters are of a weak heart. Okay? You give up all these things. Get up and arise. Okay? This is what he says in the text 3. Okay? So, listening to all this, Arjuna is still not convinced. He doesn't know what to do. Still, his indecision is there. When somebody says all this, we are also not very much convinced. We also want to go deep and understand. That's why Arjuna, in the next 3 texts, he further puts up his doubts and confusion from text 4 to text 6. Okay. So next, we will see that Arjuna says that, O killer of enemies, he calls Krishna as Arisudana. Arisudana means killer of enemies. O killer of Madhu, the one who killed demon Madhu. How can I counteract with arrows in battle men with Bhishma and Drona, who are worthy of my worship? Again, the text Arisudana, killer of enemies. Arjuna says that you say that we should kill enemies. You yourself are the killer of enemies. You did not kill your relatives, but here there are my relatives. Drona and Bhishma are worthy of my prayers and respect. How do I kill them? That is the first question he puts. That is the dilemma he has. So the next text, 5th text, in that it says, it would be better to live in a world by begging rather to live at the cost of life of great souls who are my teachers. Even though desiring worldly gain, they are superiors. If they are killed, everything we enjoy will be tainted with blood. Common, right? So he says he expresses his further doubt, further confusion in why he should not fight. Correct? So the next he says, I do not know what is better, whether being conquered is better or conquering them is better. Whether I should allow them to conquer me or I should conquer them. I don't know what to do. He further asks, should I dutifully fight and risk violence? Should I refrain and live by begging? Begging is better. I can go and sustain my living than killing so many people who are worthy of my respect. Victory is not certain. Even if I fight, I don't know if I'm going to get the victory. Also, even if I get the victory, I can't say that I have won. I have got defeated by I have defeated my own kinsmen. So these are the doubts he puts. Also, so the text 6 says, not we know which is better, conquering them or being conquered by them. If we kill the sons of Dhritarashtra, we should not care to live. Yet they are now standing before us on the battlefield. So now in the next 3 texts, that is from 7 to 10, Arjuna surrenders on to Krishna. He put all his doubts on before Krishna, and now next he surrenders on to Krishna. So next we all will recite the text 7. Next we all will recite text 7, which is very important text of this chapter. And we all have to memorize this shloka. Okay? Karpanya dosho
Karpanyadosho
pahata svabhavaha
pahatasvabhavaha
कार्पण्यदोषोपहतः स्वभावः
कार्पण्यदोषोपहतः स्वभावः
स्वभावः
पृच्छामि त्वाम्
पृच्छामि
पृच्छामि
त्वां
त्वाम्
पृच्छामि त्वाम्
धर्मसम्मूढचेता
धर्मसम्मूढचेता
पृच्छामि
धर्मसम्मूढचेता
त्वाम् धर्मसम्मूढचेता
पृच्छामि त्वां धर्मसम्मूढचेता
या
धर्मसम्मूढचेता
श्रेयसान् या
यात्रेयस्य
श्रेयसान् निश्चितं निश्चितं
निश्चितं
ब्रूहि तन्मे
ब्रूहि तन्मे
शिष्यास्तेहाम्
शिष्यास्तेहां
शाधि मां त्वां प्रपन्नम्
शाधिमां
प्रपन्नम्
कार्पण्यदोषोपहतः स्वभावः
कार्पण्यदोषोपहतः स्वभावः
पृच्छामि त्वां धर्मसम्मूढचेता
पृच्छामि त्वां धर्मसम्मूढचेता
यच्छ्रेयश्चितं ब्रूहि तन्मे
यच्छ्रेयस्यां ब्रूहि तन्मे
शिष्यास्तेहां शाधि मां त्वां प्रपन्नम्
शिष्यास्तेहां शाधिमां त्वां प्रपन्नम्.
In this text, Arjuna surrenders on to Krishna. He accepts Lord Krishna as his guru. Karpanya dosho pahata svabhavaha means due to miserly weakness. We'll just go to that. Yeah. Due to miserly weakness, I ask you, being confused about my duty. I'm weak and I'm confused about my duty. I'm asking you to tell me for certain what is best for me. Tell me what is best for me. I'm confused. Now I am your disciple and a soul surrendered unto you. Please instruct me. He is completely surrendering himself onto Krishna, saying, I don't know what to do. You please take me forward. I have completely surrendered onto you. Arjuna and Krishna are good friends. They are best friends. Friends give advices, right? Friends give advices. They don't instruct. But here, Arjuna is accepting Krishna as Guru and saying, instruct me to do. You tell me what I should do, and I'm going to do that. So, this text also says how our attitude should be when we are learning Bhagavad Gita or when we are reading Bhagavad Gita. We should have humility. We should be humble enough to understand what the Lord says, surrender ourselves onto the Lord, and take whatever knowledge He gives on to us. When we surrender, when we are humble, knowledge flows in. That is what we have to do. It is what is depicted in this text. So next, in the next text, he says, I can find no means to drive away this grief. All this grief is drying up my senses. Okay, he says, because of all this, whatever I'm facing, the dilemmas I'm facing, whatever thoughts I'm getting, all my senses are drying up. So you take control over it and you tell me what I should be doing. I can find no means to drive away this grief, which is drying up my senses. I will not be able to dispel it even if I win a prosperous, unrivaled kingdom on earth with sovereignty like the demigods in heaven. This is what Arjuna says. So the next text is said by Sanjaya. So Sanjaya says that Arjuna said all these things. Evam uktva rishikesha gudakesha parantapa na yotsya iti govindam uktva tushnim babhuvaha. So here he addresses, he says that Gudakesha, that is Arjuna, said all these things, and next Krishna will be talking. Krishna will be taking forward. So he addresses Krishna as Rishikesha. Rishikesha means controller of the senses. In the previous text, that is the text 8, we saw that he said, all my senses are weak. It is drying up now. So in the next text, he is saying, you are the controller of all the senses. So please take charge of my senses as you can control the senses. And he says, he addresses Krishna as also Govinda. Govinda means knower of everything. You know everything. You know how my senses are. So please take control over it. So in the next text, the text number 10, he says, Sanjaya continues, O descendant of Bharata, at that time Krishna, smiling in the midst of both the armies, spoke the following words to the grief-stricken Arjuna. As we know, Krishna always with his smile, he says the following text to Arjuna. He says the following things to Arjuna. Okay, so we will repeat this next text. That is text number 11. Shri Bhagavan Vacha
Shri
Shri
Bhagavan
Bhagavan
Uvacha
Vacha
Ashocha Anvashocastvam
Asocha
Ashocyanandasocastvam
Anyanaspastotastvam
Ashochan
Asochan
Ashochan Anvashocastvam
Anvasotastvam
Prajnavadamscha Bhashase
Prajnavadamscha
Pragyavadamscha
Bhasase
Bhasase
Gatasu Gatasu Cha
Gatasu Nagatamsoscha
Gatasu cha
Nanushocanti Pandita
Nanusochanti
Nanusochanti
Pandita
Chanti
Pandita
Pandita
Ashochan Anvashocastvam
Asocyananasostastvam
Asocyanasocastvam
Prajnavadamscha Bhashase
Prajnavadamscha Bhasase
Pragyavadamscha
Gatasu Nagatasum Cha
Gatasu Nagatamsoscha
Nagatamscha
Nanushocanti Pandita.
Nanusochanti
Nanusochanti
Pandita.
Pandita.
So these texts from 11 to 30, it is by Krishna. It is said by Krishna, which is called as Jnana Yoga or the Sankhya Yoga, which is talking about analyzing of the body, our soul, matter, and the spirit. Okay. In this text, that is the 11th text, Supreme God, Personality of Godhead said, while speaking learned words, you are mourning for what is not worthy of grief. Those who are wise lament neither for the living nor for the dead. He said, do not lament unnecessarily. He said, you are lamenting for something that is not worthy of the grief. Why it is not worthy of grief and all that he will be telling in the future verses. Okay. Arjuna is Pandita. He knows everything. He has done so many. He has revered so much, but still he is in confusion and he is acting like apandita. So Krishna says the following verses. So in the next text, that is text 12, okay, he says that never in the time before, in the past, I ceased to exist. That is, in the past, there was never a time where I was not there. In the future, there will be never a time where I am not going to be there. In the same way, in the past, there was never time where you were not there. In the future, there will never be a time where you will not be there. In the same way, all things, every creature, living beings around us were always there on this earth before in the past, and also they will be there in the future. So he's saying that we are the souls, we are the Atma. Okay, we are not this body. That is the basic thing that we have to realize before getting into spiritual practice. That is, we are not this body, we are the soul. So in the text 12, he says, never there was a time when I did not exist, nor you, nor all these things, nor in the future shall any of us cease to be. So the next text is important text. We all shall repeat it. Text 13. Dehinosmin yata dehe.
Dehinosmin yata
Dehinosmin yata
dehe
dehe
Kaumaram yauvanam jara.
Kaumaram
Kaumaram
Yauvanam
yauvanam
Jara
jara
Dehinosmin yata dehe.
Dehinosmin
Dehinosmin
yata
yata
dehe
dehe
Kaumaram yauvanam jara.
Kaumaram Yauvanam Jara
तथा देहान्तरप्राप्तेर्
Tata Dehantara Prapti
धीरस्तत्र न मुह्यति
धीरस्तत्र न मुह्यति
तथा देहान्तरप्राप्तेर्
तदा देहान्तरप्राप्ते
धीरस्तत्र न मुह्यति
धीरस्तत्र न मुह्यति
देहिनोऽस्मिन् यथा देहे
देहिनोऽस्मिन् यथा देहे
कौमारं यौवनं जरा
कौमारं यौवनं जरा
तथा देहान्तरप्राप्तेर्
तदा देहान्तरप्राप्ते
धीरस्तत्र न मुह्यति.
धीरस्तत्र न मुह्यति.
So here he says that change in the body is natural. As when we were born, we had a different form. When we were growing up, when we were going to school, we had a different form. Then we go to youth, we go to old age. All this, the circle of life has different forms. Change in the body is natural. Okay. Similarly, as we grow from baby, youth, adult, then the old age, in the same way, soul similarly passes on to from one body to the other body. Okay, self-realized soul is not bewildered by such a change. Here, word dhiras tatrana muhyati. Dhira is there. Dhira means a sober person. Sober person will not get affected by these changes. Like how if you show a picture of your school days and ask, can you please point out where I am? It is difficult because your form has changed, because you have grown up into adult. It is difficult to find out who you are until we know you very well. Correct? In the same way, our soul also changes its body from one body to the other. What remains constant is the soul. With this, Arjuna is still not convinced. He says, I am attached to this body. I am attached to the body of my kinsmen, of my relatives. And the separation from them, because of the separation from them, I am burning up. I am lamenting for the separation of this body. So in the next text, Krishna continues, O son of Kunti, the non-permanent appearance of happiness and distress and their disappearance in due course are like the appearance and disappearance of winter and summer season. They arise from sense perception. The skin of Bharata, one must learn to tolerate them without being disturbed. These are the temporary dualities. Birth and death is the cycle of life. Okay? We all run towards the pleasure. We all want something pleasurable. We run away from the pain. In the same way, where there is pain, we try to run away. Here, Arjuna is also trying to run away from the pain. But working towards permanent pleasure is important, realizing that we are not this body. We are the soul. So he says, Matra sparshastu kaunteya. He says, he talks about the experiencing of the sense object, like cold and heat. It is the experience of sense object, correct? Some might perceive more cold, some might perceive more heat or less heat. This is all based on our sense object. Their appearance and disappearance is not permanent. It can appear, it can disappear as the season change. Cold, heat will also keep changing. So we need to learn how to tolerate them. We need to wait. We need to have that patience to wait. Time is going to change. Because of this, you cannot deviate from your duties. Even if there is raining, cold, heat, whatever it is, you have to go for work. In the same way, doing our prescribed duties is very important. Though there is changes that is happening around us. Don't stick on to the change. Do your duty. That is what Krishna says over here. Here, we also have to concentrate on few words. He says words like Kaunteya, Matra Sparshastu Kaunteya, and Bharata. which signifies his paternal and maternal families. Kaunteya, the son of Kunti. So the family of Kunti, and also from his paternal side, the family of Bharata, which says that you are from this family, you have such responsibility, you have very severe responsibility towards this society. You cannot lament for all these things. You cannot lament for the things that are not permanent. You need to stand up and you need to fight. With this, we'll go to the next text. 15th text. O best among men, Arjuna, the person who is not disturbed by happiness and distress and is steady in both is certainly eligible for liberation. Who can be liberated? The one who can be steady in heat, cold, whatever it is. Okay, they can be liberated. Those who are shears of the truth have concluded that of the non-existent, that there is no endurance, and of the eternal, there is no change. This they have concluded by studying the nature of birth. In the next verse, we can see that he says, Avinashi tu tadvitti ena sarvam idam tatam vinasham avyayasya na kaschit kartum arhasi. That which pervades the entire body, you should know to be it is indestructible. Soul is imperishable. There is no birth or there is no death for the soul. No one is able to destroy that imperishable soul. Soul is imperishable. Like how we take birth, we grow, we exist, we give byproduct, we dwindle, and we die. This is called as Shad Vikara in the material world. We all go through these Shad Vikaras. So we are born, we grow, we produce, we dwindle, we die, and we exist. So this is what is explained in the text 17. In the next text, he moves on to saying the material body of the indestructible, immeasurable, and eternal living entity is sure to come to an end. Therefore, fight, O descendant of Bharata. The body is going to come to an end. So please get up and fight. If not now, if not through you, if not now, it is still going to come to an end. So in the next verse, that is verse 18, he says, okay, we went through the verse 18. So next verse, the material body of the indestructible, immeasurable, and eternal living entity is sure to come to an end. Therefore, fight, O descendant of Bharata. Okay, the next 19th verse, neither he who thinks the living entity the slayer, nor he who thinks it is slain, is in knowledge. For the self slain, not nor is slain. That is, the soul can never be slain or it is never slayed. Okay. He gives the knowledge of clarity that soul is never killed. Soul is indestructible. With this, we'll go on to the next important shloka to be memorized. That is the text 20. Please come to text 20. Na jayate mriyate va kadachin.
Na
jayate.
Mataji, can you share it in the next slide? They can see.
Okay. Na jayate mriyate va kadachin.
Jayate mriyate va kadhatin.
Nayam bhutva bhavita na bhuyo.
Nayam bhutva bhavita vana bhuyah.
Naya bhutva
Naya bhutva
vana bhuyo.
bhavita vana bhuyah.
Na jayate mriyate va kadachin.
न जायते
जायते
एव कदाचित्
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 नाया भूत्वा भविता वा न भूयो
नायं
नायं
भूत्वा
भूत्वा
भविता वा
भविता
न
वा
भूयः
न भूयात्
अजो नित्यो
अजो
अजो
नित्यो
नित्यो
जो नित्यो
शाश्वतोऽयं पुराणो
शाश्वतोऽयं पुराणो
शाश्वतोऽयं
शाश्वतोऽयं
अजो नित्यो
अजो
अजो
नित्यो
नित्यो
नित्यं
शाश्वतोऽयं पुराणो
शाश्वतोऽयं पुराणो
शाश्वतोऽयं
पुराणो
पुराणो
न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे
न
न हन्यते
हन्यते
हन्यमाने
हन्यमाने
शरीरे
शरीरे
For the soul, there is neither birth nor death at any time. He has not come into being, does not come into being, and will not come into being. He is unborn, eternal, everlasting, and primeval. He is not slain when the body is slain. So this describes the characteristic of the soul and says that soul has never taken birth, nor it is ever dead. It is imperishable. Soul never dies. It has not come into being, does not come into being, and will not come into being. He is unborn, eternal, ever existent, and primeval. He is not slain when the body is slain. So that is what is told in the text 20. It talks about the nature of the soul. It is, the next verse says that, 21, it says that, O Partha, how can a person who knows that the soul is indestructible, eternal, unborn, and immutable kill anyone or cause anyone to kill? It says that again, it is immutable, it cannot be changed, it is inconceivable, it is invisible. So, how can it kill somebody? How can you kill a soul, or how can it be killed? Okay, so the next verse, that is the 22nd verse, it says, as a person puts on new garment, giving up the old one, the soul similarly accepts new material body, giving up the old, useless ones. As we change our clothes, wear a new cloth, discard the old ones, soul also keeps changing its body. Our basis is we are the soul, not this body. How are you lamenting for this body and the attachment that is there through this body? Okay, so that is what is told in the 22nd verse. Then the next three verses, that is 23rd, 24th, and 25th, it gives the characteristics of the soul. How are the characteristics of the soul? What are the characteristics of the soul? The soul can never be cut into pieces by a weapon. It cannot be cut into pieces by a weapon, nor burned by fire. It cannot be cut by weapon, it cannot be burnt by fire, nor moistened by water, nor withered by the wind. Nothing can affect it. Neither water, wind, weapon, fire, nothing can destruct the soul. The next says, this individual soul is unbreakable and insoluble. It can be neither burnt nor dried. He is everlasting, present everywhere, unchangeable, immovable, and eternally the same. Whatever you do, you cannot change the soul. Okay, so this text, that is the text 24, we all will repeat. Achetyoyam,
अच्छेद्योऽयम्
अच्छेद्योऽयम्
adhayoyam,
अदाह्योऽयम्
अदाह्योऽयम्
akledyo,
अक्लेद्यो
अक्लेद्यो
yoshya cha,
शोष्य
शोष्य
एव
एव
च
च
एव च
nitya sarvagata,
नित्या
नित्या
सर्वागतः
सर्वगता
Thanur,
स्थाणु
Thanur,
स्थाणु
Achaloyam Sanatana,
अचलोऽयं
स्थाणुरचलोऽयं
अचलोऽयं
सनातनः
सनातन
Achedhyoyam Adhayoyam,
अच्छेद्योऽयम् अदाह्योऽयम्
अदाह्यो
Akledhyo Shasya Evacha,
क्लेद्यो
अक्लेद्यो
शोष्य एव च
शोष्य एव च
Nitya Sarvagata Stanur,
Nitya
Sarvagata
Sarvagata
Achaloyam Sanatana.
Achaloyam
Chaloyam
Sanatana.
Yes,
Sanatana.
Sanatana, eternally the same. The soul is never going to change. It is unbreakable, insoluble, neither burnt nor dried. It is everlasting, present everywhere. It is unchangeable. It is immovable. And it is eternally the same. Okay. So soul is invisible, inconceivable, and it is immutable. That is what is said in the verse number 25, which continues to talk about the characteristics of the soul. It is said that the soul is invisible, inconceivable, and immutable. Knowing this, you should not grieve for the body. You know that the soul is not going to die, and we are the soul, not this body. Only the body is going to die, it is going to perish, but not the soul. Soul is imperishable. So, what are you lamenting for? What are you grieving for? That is what Krishna asked Arjuna in these three texts. He further says in this next text, if, however, you think that the soul will always be born and die forever, you still have no reason to lament, O mighty armed Arjuna. Even if you think that it is going to die, if it is going to go, you still have no reason to lament. Okay? In the next text, as a person puts a new garment, this we came across already. So, in the text 26 to 29, we are going to see on the inevitable birth-death cycle. Even if you think that the soul is always born and dies forever, you still have no reason to lament, O mighty armed Arjuna. After death, one is sure to take new birth if you think it is going to die. One who is born is sure to die. That is due to karma. Both are unavoidable. Birth and death arise from one's good and bad deeds. All living beings are invisible in their beginning, that is before birth. They manifest in the interim state, that is during their lifetime, and they are again invisible after they are destroyed. So why to lament? That is what he talks in these following verses. All created beings, I'm reading text 28, all created beings are unmanifest in their beginning, manifest in their interim state, and unmanifest again when annihilated. So what is the need for the lamentation? Some look on the soul as amazing, some describe him as amazing, and some hear of him as amazing, while others, even after hearing about him, cannot understand him at all. That is what is said in verse 29. That is, soul is amazing. We all accept it. Few, even after knowing it, they can't accept it as it is. They cannot understand it. So, in the text 30, Krishna concludes that soul is being imperishable. It cannot be destroyed. Okay. O descendant of Bharata, he who dwells in the body can never be slain. Therefore, you need not grieve for anything, that any living being. So this is about Sankhya Yoga. What Krishna talks about the soul. He talks about the matter and the spirit. We are not this body, we are the soul. In the further 7 shlokas, we will see that Krishna is telling Arjuna to do his prescribed duties. Get up and do your prescribed duties. That is called as Sakama Karma or Karma Kanda. Performing prescribed duty gives enjoyment. Why do we have to perform prescribed duty? Because it gives enjoyment. First, Krishna talks about how to do Sakama Karma. That is what is prescribed to us in the following verses from 31 to 37. So let's go to the text 31. He says, performing prescribed duties gives enjoyment. As Arjuna, he says all this because Arjuna said that there is no happiness even if I emerge victorious. I will not be happy if I win the battle also. In the first chapter, we all saw that. But This to clear this confusion of Arjuna, Krishna says doing the prescribed duties will give you happiness. Considering your specific duty as a Kshatriya, you should know that there is no better engagement for you than fighting on religious principle. And so there is no need for hesitation. Not everybody will get this opportunity. You are the Kshatriya, the protector of the society. You are getting this opportunity to destroy the unwanted things from the society that is spoiling the society. So don't hesitate. You have to do your duty. This is given to you as duty. In the next verse, he talks about swadharma. This is your dharma. In the next verse, that is in the text 32, he talks about fortune of a kshatriya who get religious opportunity to fight. Not everybody is as fortunate enough. Just by being born as kshatriya, they will not get to improve the society. But here, being born as kshatriya, Arjuna being born as kshatriya, he is also getting the opportunity to help the society. O Partha, happy are the kshatriyas to whom such fighting opportunities come, opening for them the doors of the heavenly planet. When you do something good to the society, when you are doing your prescribed duties, the doors of the heaven will open. Performing swadharma or discharging specific duties gradually elevate to higher platform, opening doors to higher planet. Therefore, get up and fight with determination. Either you will be killed on the battlefield and attain heavenly planet, or you will be conquered and enjoy the earthy, or you will conquer and enjoy the earthy kingdom. What is going to happen? Either you will be killed. If you die in the battlefield, you will attain heavenly planet, or you will win the battle and conquer the kingdom. That is what is going to happen to you. Nothing else, nothing more is going to happen to you. So get up and fight, is what Krishna says. In the text 33, he says, however, if you do not perform your religious duty of fighting, then you will certainly incur sins for neglecting your duties and thus lose your reputation as a fighter. If you don't perform, if you still say, no, I don't want to perform, you will get sin. You are not going to the heavenly planets. You are going to get sin because prescribed duties are not being performed. We have to perform our karma. If you don't do it, it is going to lose your reputation as a fighter. You are going to get into criticism. You're going to get akirti. In the text 34, Krishna says, you're going to get akirti. People will speak about your infamy. And for a respectable person, dishonor is worse than death. You can't live in this disrespectful way. Nobody will respect you. So you cannot take it up. He also says that people are going to criticize. In text 35, he says, people are going to criticize you for it. Nobody is going to think that because you had that compassion and love towards your kinsmen, towards your family, you did not fight. But what are the Kauravas going to think? Like, what is Duryodhana and Karna going to think? They are going to think that you were not having that strength to fight. They are going to get you infamy. They are going to talk about your reputation, right? Nobody is going to say that, oh, you're such a great person that because of the compassion you had, you did not fight. But they are still going to say, you did not have this strength. You're that Arjuna is running from the battlefield and not doing his duty. So even if you don't do your duty, you're not going to enjoy any happiness. With not doing duty, you're getting more sin and you're going to incur more sin and you're getting infamy. People are going to talk about you, criticize you. So even if you think that if I don't do these things, I'm going to be happy, it is not possible. You're still not going to be happy. So might as well do your prescribed duties and get into the heavenly planet or rule the earthly kingdom, which is going to give you happiness than just running from the battlefield. Your enemies will describe you in many unkind words, and they are going to talk about your ability. which could be more painful to you. Text 37, the last verse says that, O son of Kunti, either you will be killed on the battlefield and attain the heavenly planets, or you will conquer and enjoy the earthly kingdom. Therefore, get up with determination and fight. So this is what Krishna talks in the Sankhya Yoga. First, in this session, we saw that how Arjuna's state was. He was not ready to fight. He put forward all his doubt in front of the Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then he accepted Krishna as his Guru. He said, I have got all these doubts, my Lord. Now I'm surrendering on to you. Whatever you say, as your disciple, as your devotee, I'm going to follow it. Because my senses are drying up, I don't know what to do. You being the controller of senses, you being Govinda, knower of everything, please get control over me and take charge of me. I am just going to surrender onto you. I will do whatever you say. So for this, in response, Krishna went on to say that you're just grieving, you're just lamenting, which is not even worthy of your grief, because you're lamenting for this bodily attachment, for the body. But you're forgetting that we are not this body, we are the soul. We are the soul which is never killed, which was always existing in this universe, which was there, which is there, and which is going to be there. So there is no point. You're not destructing anything. You're just destructing the material body, that the soul is always going to remain, which says that we are the soul and not this body. So you have to get up and fight. Also, Krishna went on to saying about, just by giving up fighting, it is not going to give you enjoyment, because doing prescribed duty, we all have inherent nature of doing certain things. Nobody can sit at home without working. Nobody can sit at home without studying. We all have this inherent duty that has to be done. We all have to do it, without which we are not going to be happy. So we need to do the prescribed duty that is given to us. So get up and do your duty. Not doing duty is not going to take you anywhere. But if you do your duty, it will take you to the heavenly planet, or it will take you to the earthly kingdom. So get up and do your duty. These are the three main principles that we saw in this session. So with this, we come to the end of this session. And in the next session, the next part of this second chapter, we'll be talking about Nishkama Karma Yoga. We saw about Sakama Karma Yoga, Sakama Karma, doing the prescribed duty. Next, we will be talking about how to do prescribed duty without being attached to it in the further verses. This is what we're going to see in the second chapter. So that gets us to the end of second chapter. So all glories to the Guru Parampara for helping us understand this divine knowledge and getting us towards the path of spirituality to understand what actually our text is. With this, let's repeat. Let's pray our humble obeisances to the Lord, and let's all repeat together the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Let's repeat together. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare Rama,
Krishna,
Rama
Rama
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
If anybody has any questions to ask, you can unmute yourself and ask. Kindly go to the chat box and you can put your attendance over there in the chat box. The notes of this chapter will be sent in the group along with the quiz which you can answer in the group. So now kindly go to the chat box and mark your attendance.
Mataji, may I know when is the next class?
Next class will be on next Friday. It is on Friday and Saturday at 7 o'clock.
Okay. So is there any mandatory, like we supposed to submit the quiz today only, or can we submit by tomorrow or day after tomorrow after doing revision?
You can submit it tomorrow.
Thank you.
If anybody has any question to ask, you can unmute yourself and ask the question. We also have a group for question and answer. You can join that group and put in your questions there as well.
I have just one question, madam.
Yes, Mataji.
I have just not brought that particular book, what you have referred. So it's which publisher book I have to get?
Bhagavad Gita. It is by ISKCON. That is by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada.
Okay.
You'll
Same.
get it in any ISKCON store or you will get it online as well.
No problems. I just need the name of that particular author and
It's
publisher. That's
Bhagavad
it.
Gita as it is.
We will share you the online
share.
link to buy it in the group itself. Yeah.
We'll be sharing the link to
Mataji,
buy in the group. Yes, Mataji.
can you please provide study material for this chapter?
Yes, Mataji, we'll be giving a handout that is notes, which has the divisions and all that. How is the chapter divided and a short description summary of this chapter. This will be provided to you in the group. But we also want everybody, we advise everybody to go through the Bhagavad Gita as it is book, as it gives you a better understanding of whatever is being told here.
Mataji,
Okay,
when
Mataji,
will we
thank you.
enter the question
Hare
and
Krishna.
please,
Hare Krishna,
Is it-
Mataji.
Mataji, when will we get the quiz link?
We'll be sending it in the group shortly, Mataji.
Notes is sent, Mataji. Notes is sent.
Notes is sent. Notes is sent. So we will end the session for today. Hare Krishna to everybody. We hope to see you all in the next session, that is in the next week, with the same enthusiasm and with the humility towards learning. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.